topic sentence written, I need to include my evidence. So this is the stuff that I'm pulling from the text. So if I jump back over into my book, I know that I'm talking about owning a new home. And so as I scroll, I don't have anything on page 53. So I move to page 54. I have two things that are highlighted here that both relate to owning a new home. And I have one on page 55. So I need to incorporate this evidence into my T's paragraph. So I started with the evidence that I had on page 54. And I typed, on page 54, the author writes, quote, I never thought I would get a chance to live in a house that belonged to storybooks. Notice I used a signal phrase on page 54. After my signal phrase, there's a comma. Please be aware of that punctuation. I have the author writes because the author is the one who wrote the memoir, so it's the same person. Yang is also the author. After I have that, I have my comma, quotation marks, and remember quotation marks means that I took it word for word from the text. And you'll see right here, I took it word for word. I never thought I would get a chance to live in a house that belonged to storybooks. The next piece of evidence reads, the author is excited to get out of the car and go into the house when they first get to move in. She felt like finding this house was a miracle. Notice I do not have quotation marks around this. So even though that's evidence from the text, I put it in my own words, which means I summarized it. So what I'm summarizing is this part here. I couldn't wait to get out of the car. We had been looking for houses a long time. Some we had liked well enough, most we couldn't afford. Now this one that looked like a real antique was only $36,500. The deal was incredible. It felt like a miracle. So here I summarize that into one sentence. It's divided by a semicolon there because these are two independent thoughts. So the author is excited to get out of the car and go into the house when they first get to move in, and she felt like finding this house was a miracle. And even though I used this same word, I don't need to put quotation marks around it because I didn't use more than one word. Notice I have a parenthetical citation here. I have parentheses and then a period that follows that parentheses. I also have that third piece of evidence that was from page 55. I quoted this. It would be our first piece of America, the first home we would buy with the money our parents earned. We were full of eagerness. Notice I used another parenthetical citation here to show you that you have your quotation marks, put a space, parentheses, just the number inside the parentheses, period outside of it. Your goal should be to find at least 3 pieces of evidence. You should have a balance of signal phrases and parenthetical citations. And you should also try to balance what you have quoted and what you have summarized. Now notice I don't have any explanations in here. We're not getting to that point yet. You are only putting in evidence. All of this evidence relates to my main idea of owning a home. All of these examples are meaningful and strong, and I have cited them appropriately. I balance signal phrases and parenthetical citations, and I balance quotations and summarizing as well. This is how you get to a 4 in examples and evidence. So make sure that whatever it is that you've got in your topic sentence, every piece of evidence relates to that topic.